4 chords. That's it. That's all our spicy poet here needed to mesmerize everyone in this crowd and further solidifying his stature. The group at Tango Works must have seen the video and been inspired, as they did the same. They took their own 4 chords and absolutely mesmerized everyone. With their own 4 chords, well designed combat, the cast of characters, and soundtrack, they created their own tune that you can't help but snap your fingers and tap your foot to. This is the linchpin of the game, bringing everything together in a coherent design of elements perfectly interlocking to the beat of the music. The world design is engineered to breathe in and out around the tempo of the song. It builds, releases, shifts, and elevates to the tempo. There's always trees thumping or steam pipe jumping that adds life and personality to an otherwise colorful corpse. Although not peppered, there are collectibles to increase your health or for upgrades, and to open them requires a rhythmic based input. And kudos for the commitment to incorporate the music, not limited to the world design but also cutscenes, the collectibles, and the combat, which did the heavy lifting. I can only imagine it would have been very tempting to use the music as a crutch and have a very simple and repetitive combat. Surprisingly, combat is an absolute highlight, and it is layered to the brim with a few simple elements masterfully crafted to be utilized to the fullest. Light and heavy attacks, a bit of a temperamental parrying system, and special attacks that build during combat for some devastating flourishes aimed at your mechanical foes. The sheer number of moving parts during combat adds so much, but it's a double-edged sword as the combat suffers from visual clutter. Looking at comic books, it hits all the dopamine centers in your brain, but unfortunately it gets bogged down with all the bams and compels taking up so much real estate, and yet pretty much plagued by the same problem. It's difficult to maintain your balance and making the sensitive parrying system even more difficult than it already is, which affects your overall score. On a more subjective note, the combat is wrapped with a rating system that scores your performance in terms of beat timing, clear time, and combo score after each engagement. And to most normal people, this probably means nothing and is glanced over quickly. However, good old overcompetitive me has a problem with this. And it's in the fact that the rating system doesn't inherently incentivize exploration or experimentation of new combos and movesets, as you would rather stick to what you know gets the point. Yes, sure, this is only if you want to aim to reach the higher scores, but if that's not the aim, then what is the point of adding it? The chorus of the combat, going toe to toe with the main baddies, was approached with a high risk, high reward mentality. And it sometimes paid off, but sometimes it was a loss on investment. And even though it was a hit or a miss, it was a shot worth taking, and I appreciated the swing they took. The main fights are a face off with the executives of the different departments of the company, and each encounter was made in the context of the individual, with an aim for novelty and personalization to each executive. The first daunting fight against the production manager, that is a sturdy lady that preferred close combat and incorporated dialogue perfectly fitting with her occupation and personality. This idea is carried in each of the main fights. I can sigh in relief that they maintained this idea, as the antagonists are very well written in a goofy and over the top manner, perfectly fitting in a game about corporate attempts to take over the world through mind control. The inclusion of corporate elements is fantastic. The plethora of unread emails are fully intended to keep unread, as I hate subplots and exposition carried this way. The head of R&D, Zonzo, that got absolutely sandbagged in the final encounter by finance when his budget got cut mid-fight as he tries to showcase his intellectual feats out of ego after Char provoked his hubris to an irrational extent. I'm going off on a tangent now, but I have to get this off my chest. The majority of the main cast is named based on different spices or food related items like chai and kale, peppermint, cinnamon, mimosa, and so on. So then why suddenly head into a random direction and jump into Zanzo or Corsica? I looked it up. These are not food related items unless it's some obscure bird vomit soup that's a delicacy on some remote island. If you go that direction of naming your characters based on IRL items, then just stick to it. If this is some food, someone knows what it is, please let me know in the comments below. The music they created fits like a glove in the larger design. I'm not a musician, so going into detail is not in my wheelhouse, but without any need for an articulate description, just listen. game hits some high notes, but it's not without issue. Contrived intergroup drama might not have been pervasive, but it was still a thorn in my side nonetheless. The main characters are all on the same page. Each has a grounded gripe with the band of antagonists. But you can't have a lack of drama between the protagonists, so let's force some friction between Chai and Peppermint. It feels out of sorts as there is no apparent natural conflict progression between them, so you have moments like this.
What? You have me running around on some dark web hunch?
I trust my sources.
You're sounding even more suspicious than Vandalay.
Ugh, Chai, just...
You know what? Don't care. I'm out of here after this anyway.
I think a lack of drama between them would have been preferred to this contrived drama that we ultimately got. I've heard more than once that the rhythmic based core of the game alienates some players as they might have problem keeping up with the beat. Guess what, kiddo? You don't have to be able to keep up to the beat to master the combat or movement. There are various visual cues to aid you in striking and dashing to hit those perfect beats. So this argument against is rendered moot after following the simple instructions. The main issue that isn't even that bad is the temperamental parry system that only seems to reliably work when you spam the parry key instead of trying to stay on beat. And there are other ways to avoid getting hit. So an iffy parry system, it's an ugh moment, but nothing more. The visual design is a perfect backtrack to the game. Not only is it an absolute treat, but it also provides vital information in a split second. Some enemies have different shields or barriers, which can only be broken by a specific offensive ability provided by your supporting cast. You know the moment you see a blue shield, it's time to call in Peppermint. It's beautifully informative. There's not a whole lot to break down about the design and the color palette. It's the idea of less is more perfectly incorporated. I have to bring some attention to the snapshot concept art included here and there in the main battles. The person at Tango Gameworks that created this display-worthy art needs a damn raise. They all do. If the site I've read just does the trick for you and you're in the mood to click some buttons after listening to a long-winded description of an amazing game, just shift your eyes a bit lower. There's something there that'll tickle your fancy. And if blue is more your color, there's something for you as well if you enjoyed it.